Storm clouds may be brewing for Jim Harbaugh and the Chargers. UCLA quietly continues its campaign against playing in the Rose Bowl, and a former can't-miss USC quarterback has joined his fourth college program. Good morning. I'm James, and this is your daily dose of sports and snark for the greatest sports city in the world, Los Angeles. This is the faithful Angelenos Morning Report. It's March 1st, 2026, and the rent is too damn high. We are still at Ice Station Alpha here in Ann Arbor, Michigan. It's also Sunday, the Lord's Day, so if you believe as I do, take a moment, pray for the people of Iran, and thank God for the blessings that you have in your life, like LA sports. And if you like being in the know about LA, clickety-clack the like button. Clickety-clack the subscribe button. There's a notification bell. Hit that. It'll let you know when we drop an update. Sharing is caring. Let people know we exist. By all means, comment. We have an expanded look at the scoreboard because, man, there were a lot of games going on yesterday. Starting with Lakers 129, Golden State 101. The Warriors were missing half their team. So, as a result, belt to ass. Luka Doncic led with 26 points. Minnesota 78, UCLA 73. Tyler Bilodeau scored 32, and there go the Bruins, leaving us all shaking our heads yet again. That Donovan Dent revival, the dude shot 1 of 6 from the floor for 3 points. Arguably college basketball's most revered program is a borderline tournament team. Yuck. Nebraska, 12th ranked Nebraska, 82, USC 67. Chad Baker-Mazara scored 14 for the Trojans. Kings 2, Calgary 0. Alex Laferriere scores a goal. The Kings snap a 5-game losing skid. Galaxy 3, Charlotte 0. Joao Klaus with a brace. And LAFC 2, Houston 0. Mark Delgado with a goal. Meanwhile today, Sacacrapo's in town to play the Lakers at 6:30. And New Orleans is at the Clippers at 6. The Clippers are acting as if John Collins will be able to return. So with all that out of the way, let's get to the news. Jim Harbaugh is one of those guys where you always hear the cliche, he's won everywhere he goes. I'm sitting in Ann Arbor. They still talk about the man here with hushed, reverent tones. Oh, he was quirky, but he got us a natty. There is a reason, though, why this guy continually bounces from team to team despite the success. Why he only lasted 4 years in Scum Francisco, despite having gotten the Niners to a Super Bowl, despite having turned a one-dimensional quarterback in Colin Kaepernick into a household name, despite earning Coach of the Year honors by AP. Dude got ran out of town. Now, to be clear, I would rather boogie board across a river of sewage than to work for a Scum Francisco sports franchise. I do not have access to the Niners' inner sanctum. But the word is that Harbaugh simply gets on people's nerves. He pushes for his way so hard that it eventually becomes like fingernails on a chalkboard. With the Niners, it was with management. With the University of Michigan, cheating, perhaps. So, is he getting on the bad side of Chargers players? The annual NFL Players Association's 2026 report cards were released. Now, this is a somewhat goofy survey, right? Doesn't really matter that much, the collective bargaining agreement, but they're doing whatever they can to try to get some sort of a way to shame teams into improving their amenities. Like a bunch of mean girls going to the manager. They even go so far as to ask how teams treat player families. But the reason I'm bringing it up is because they grade coaching staffs. So if you're a fan of the Chargers, Harbaugh was graded C+. plus. Now you might think, whatever, bro, passing grade. And to be real, Lord knows I lucked out with a few C pluses back in the day myself. But only 4 coaches earned less than a B. Harbaugh's grade ranked with former Raiders coach Pete Carroll. I love Pete Carroll. Last I checked, though, the dude was bussing tables at an all-you-can-eat over at Circus Circus. Matter of fact, of the 4 coaches who got less than a B grade, Harbaugh is the only one still employed. This is a survey of players on the team. This is what they think of Jim Harbaugh. Moreover, Harbaugh, again, how much does winning matter? He wins everywhere he goes. Harbaugh got the Chargers into the playoffs in the last 2 years, and a C plus is all he gets. By the way, the guy he replaced, Brandon Staley, got a B, and he only got 5 wins in his last year leading the Chargers. So what is going on here? Well, we can guess. Former defensive coordinator Jesse Minter earned an A plus from the players. Hell, Mike McDaniel was dragged from one coast to the other by the national media for how the Dolphins collapsed last season. But the incoming Chargers offensive coordinator graded higher for his work with the Dolphins than the guy he's now working under. McDaniel got a B. What makes this survey kind of suck is we don't have the specifics as to what the player's problem is with Harbaugh. Now, with that said, I do have one other idea that might give you guys some insight. The players gave fired offensive coordinator Greg Roman a D minus. So, it's totally plausible, if you're looking for something positive, to say the players are like, you know what, Harbaugh and Roman are boys, but the game totally passed Roman by. In other words, a rebound by the offensive unit would be damn good for morale with the Chargers. Because so far, nobody has said anything about Harbaugh being on the hot seat. He's not on the hot seat. But if we've learned anything from Harbaugh's stints with other teams, it's that he gets all these wins, and then at the very last moment, when none of us on the outside are expecting it, the rug gets pulled, everything goes sour overnight, and the entire program crashes. If you're a Charger fan, you let me know what you think, because there's something going on over at The Bolt, and we're not privy to it. As predicted, UCLA is not quashing its push to escape the Rose Bowl. Now, I'd be lying to you if I said I can completely comprehend the legal minutia here, but attorneys representing the college have appealed a judge's decision to deny arbitration in the Rose Bowl's breach of contract case against UCLA. This could mean any number of things, okay? There's a belief, for example, that arbitration could be useful for UCLA as leverage to force the Rose Bowl and Pasadena to renegotiate the terms of its current lease, maybe to get better and quicker improvements than what was promised, or maybe just straight up to get the hell out of Pasadena. Could be any number of things. We'll have to wait and see. Former USC quarterback Malachi Nelson is on the move yet again. The one-time top-rated recruit across the fruited plain has used the transfer portal to go to a 4th school, Syracuse. You may have heard the phrase, the grass is always greener, but bruh has officially run out of grass. This guy is patient zero for what makes the transfer portal riddled with more disease than Charlie Sheen's Tinder account. Malachi Nelson, 4 years, 4 schools, and to the absolute best of my research, 0 starts. All he had to do when he was at USC was to wait 1 more year. Yeah, you have to sit there and ask, where the hell did all of this, where did the cart separate from the horse? Where did the train just fly off the rails? Because playing quarterback for USC can set you up for your entire life, with the notable exception of Mark Sanchez, but I digress. It could go any number of ways. You could ask yourself, for example, were the recruiting experts wrong? Because I admit that I get excited to give you guys updates on a 5-star recruit coming to USC, but these are still high school kids. What if these experts still don't know what the hell they're talking about? Here's a question. Maybe it's not the recruiting experts. Were the people around Nelson giving him even worse advice than Jim Kramer? Oh, you shouldn't be sitting on the bench. You're Malachi Nelson. You should, what? That guy out there? He's only Caleb Williams. He stole your Heisman. Yeah, that's what happened. It's time for you to get your glow up, player. You need to go somewhere where you could start. I bet Boise State will give you way more money. And how did that turn out? Maybe it's not the recruiting experts. Maybe he didn't have an entourage that sold him a bill of goods. What if it's simply on Nelson? Is Malachi Nelson only now realizing he's not who people said he was? And as a result, he's spending the rest of his college time just chasing the bag. He didn't, like I said, he never started. Not even at UTEP. How hard is it to not start at UTEP? How many 5-star recruits has UTEP football ever had? The Miners, the home of NFL legend. Because you know who wasn't wrong out of that mess? Lincoln Riley. For all the grief that USC fans and the scribes give this guy, he didn't freak out when Nelson skipped town. You know why? You either want to develop into an NFL quarterback or you don't. Because Riley is damn good at the quarterback mentoring. Malachi Nelson at school number 4. We have spoken at length about key free agents for the Chargers and rookies with a potential 5th-year option that the Chargers maybe shouldn't take. The Rams have a curious one to make. Emmanuel Forbes, who was acquired from Washington during last season because the Commanders thought he was a total bust, worked his way into the defensive backfield rotation in pretty short order. What would happen with a full year of coaching under the Rams? He is under contract for this year, but the Rams have to make a decision by May on a 5th year. Now, to keep Forbes in 2027, the option would be worth $12.6 million. Now, Sean McVay is speaking highly of the guy, but when the hell doesn't he speak highly of somebody? I'm not sure I'd fork over $12.5 million. But the way money gets bandied about the NFL, who the hell am I to tell? As if missing Kevin Fiala was not enough, now Andrei Kuzmenko will not play a big role in saving the Kings season twice in a row. Dude is week to week after having surgery to repair the meniscus in his right knee. Now, Kuzmenko revitalized his career after arriving from Philadelphia last season. He scored 5 goals in 22 regular season games, and then he decided to bet on himself with a 1-year contract in LA. I don't want to call it snake eyes, but didn't exactly produce that much. As a result, defenseman Angus Booth, a former roadie for an AC/DC tribute band, was summoned from his minor league hockey job over in Ontario. But you let me know what you think in the comments thread. Talk to me about the NFL Players Survey and if it does in fact portend bad news for Jim Harbaugh. For that matter, what do you think UCLA actually wants from the Rose Bowl and the city of Pasadena? And if you enjoyed the update, don't forget to subscribe to Faithful Angelenos. We're talking LA sports every single day. Thank you for watching. I'm James, and we'll be back tomorrow. Faithful Angelenos is a Kian Corte El Queso production. Take care.